What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and we're back with another video. I know we just uploaded last night. I know we have the giveaway video, and I'm giving you guys this video today. Is a lot of content. I'm getting it out for you guys. This is round 5 versus a law. This is the first law I played. We're gonna go ahead and commentate. We're gonna rush over, and not rush over. We're gonna up the playback speed just so it's a little faster because this is a longer game. I don't want this video to go crazy long like the last video. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
For one, I'll just play out
And
Sardak Nami and pass.
There we go. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So for one Don, he goes Nami. I just missed what he searched, but I'm pretty sure you guys saw. So, and then it's my turn 1. A beautiful turn 1 play against the law is always a chopper. This is the only circumstance you would obviously use a chopper like this. And then he vistas the chopper, right? And so that is the one counter that the law can have to the chopper, right? So the law should know, okay, this Doffy might chopper turn 1. Let me maybe have a vista in my starting hand. Regardless, I play the sugar. I KO the Nami, and this is still a good play for me. Why? One, I'll tell you because I rest his vista, so his vista can't swing at my sugar next turn. And then his law is going to swing at my sugar, which saves me an attack. It's basically like a pseudo blocker. That's why I love sugar in this matchup. And then obviously you guys know with the recent ban list, law's lists are going to look a lot different if there are even any. So then I played Buena Festa for 1 and pass turn. Now it is my opponent's next turn. And he's definitely thinking, because he knows that whatever he plays, sugar's going to activate. It's going to rest something. And he's going to be in a bad spot because I can KO another unit next turn. And so, it's just overall, it's a bad scenario for the law to be in. Even though he did get the vista on the chopper, I feel like the correct play would have been to just leave the chopper open and vista the sugar. And so here we were kind of going back and forth on how the play exactly happens, but I think it's sugar rest as soon as the law played, and then law is able to affect. I mean, regardless, it didn't matter, because if I rested the vista, he was going to pick up the vista, play the vista. If I rest the law, he's just going to pick up the vista, play the vista, and the sugar was going to die regardless. And it's, for me, it's a 6 Don turn. I'm not going to spend all my Don to kill one blocker law that the laws usually don't even swing with, especially right now. He only has 2 units on board, so he's not going to swing with that law next turn. So I was like, it doesn't really matter too much. I was like, let's just move on. Still a little unclear on how it worked, but I guess it won't matter too much. There's not going to be any laws for me to play. And I did have another sugar in hand. So at this point, the law is in a really poor spot, because I'm not swinging at his leader. All my attacks are just being aggressively played at his board, which is how the matchup should be. Eventually the law is going to run out of cards. And so now he is at 7 Don, but he only has like 5 or 6 cards in hand. And so he basically would have to play his whole hand in order to shambles, which feels kind of bad. And so in this position that I'm in is great, because now he's forced to swing his blocker. And if he doesn't, then my sugar is going to rest it for free. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, this is round 5. I'm 4-0. I'm in a great spot. I'm like, let me just really lock in and play, play patiently, and just, as the game comes to me. I didn't want to rush to any conclusions. And so sugar rest. Obviously, I'm going to rest the law so he doesn't get a swing. And then he has to swing his leader into my sugar. That's another block. So these swings where they would be at my leader and pressure my life to either take to go lower or to give me a card is going to my sugar that already did its job. So 2 sugars has given me 4 targets. And yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, I'm in a good spot. I can't complain here. Like, I'm loving it. So he goes 6 at my sugar to secure it, is what he said. But I think you can just swing 5 at a sugar always. I don't think your opponent's going to want to give you 2 cards, let alone 3. And then he passes. He passes with 4 Don up with a rested law. So at this point, I'm like, oh yeah, his hand is real rough. He probably wants to take some life here. So that's the one thing I'm telling myself. I'm like, don't go life. So I go 6 at the law, no search because I'm a 7 Luffy anyway. I gave up one of my searches in order to swing at his law, which is going to give me a card instead, right? So -1 card from him or potentially +1 because I could whiff too. So I was like, you know what? Instead of searching with his one Don, I'm going to swing at his law for 6, no effect. And boom, he gives me a radical beam. He gives me a radical beam on a 6K swing, which means he didn't want to give me any cards out of his hand, which is a huge win for me. You know, at this point, I'm like, wow, I'm like, okay, you know, we're in a really great spot now if you're giving me a radical beam for a 6K swing. And so then, yeah, I just Luffy, and if I'm good, I just pass. Yeah, so I just pass right away. That Sanji might get a swing, might not get a swing. I have a Uta on board, so one of the two is going to get rested. So, you know, at this point, it's pick your poison, right? I could have a Punk Gibson in hand. That Uta is going to get a rest, you know, like, you know, the law is just in a really bad spot. He does have the Bonnie. He can shambles this turn, but I think it might be a little too late. Just for the fact that he's going to have to swing at my board, and I'm going to have options in order to mitigate that. And just play, you know, as defensive as possible. The Uta's going to get a target. Now, if he swings with leader, now both of his units get rested if I have a Punk Gibson in hand. Because to this point, I don't think I've used a single event in hand, so I'm pretty sure I do have options at this point. Let's go ahead and see what he does here. So he's going to use the Sanji effect. Sanji effect swings for 7K, which, you know, is not bad. You finally get to draw a card. You get to draw a life. But as soon as he drew his own life, I already knew I could play aggro. So, yeah, I'm going to rest 1, Don -1, or Don -1, rest the Uta. Don -2, block the 7K, give his leader -3. So now I fully blocked out. I'm at how much Don? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going back to 8 Don, right? So at this point, I don't mind because I completely protected my life. He's going to have to use all his Don to just swing with his law again if he wants. So basically protected out of all the attacks. And I have a 7K Luffy blocker, so he's never swinging with his law, right? And so I just protected myself. It doesn't matter that I'm going to 8 Don. He's low on cards. He Otama's. I think he wants to get a shambles out here. Let's go ahead and fast forward it a bit. Yeah, so he Brooks. And then he swings at, I think, a unit that he, I think it was the Nami. He swung at the Nami that was -2, making it a 3. And then he's swinging for 4. And so I think I just give him a 2K here because I want to play aggro. So I want to save everything if I'm not mistaken. I'm counting up. Oh, it looks like I just end up letting him take the Nami. If I'm at 8 Don, more likely to just probably have like a another Luffy play maybe because I'm not going to be at 10 cost. So I give him both of my units, and the law at this point is probably thinking he's in a better spot, but he only has 3 cards in hand, which means when I swing at his board, I'm swinging at his board and he cannot stop me. So I go 5K at the Sanji. We get rid of that. Let's see what else we do. We go 8K at the Luffy, knowing he has 3 cards. I think it's a good choice to make him cough up 2 if he even has it. He might not. Gives me the Luffy. And so at this point, I'm just in great waters. I was at 8 Don. I used one for the Luffy, one for the Luffy to kill the Luffy. And then I Luffy into Uta again. And so this basically here at this moment is secured. I secured my victory if he doesn't, like, the only saving grace he would have is he has a Bonnie in hand. If he would have another searcher, like if he goes Nami, Bonnie, finds another law blocker, you know, places the law blocker, goes, picks up the Bonnie, plays another Nami, gets another 2, like a 3 card draw turn where he can play defensive and have 2 law blockers up. That would be massive. And but his hand size is just too low. It's just too low. I was able to control the board. He does have Bonnie in hand, and it's not like he, you know, didn't see any searches or it just, if you run sugars, this matchup becomes so bad for the law because you can play around so many things. And then once I start loofing and you don't have an established board, is basically GG. Let's go ahead and see. So he does have a Nami, and he finds a Zoro, and then I think he does have a Bonnie, so he's going to pay 2 for the Bonnie. Search. He searches a Zoro, so he doesn't get the target he wants. Like, he had the searches, just doesn't find the target he wants. He probably wanted a law blocker. And so, oh wait, what did I do with the 9K swing? Oh, he swung at my Luffy, and so I was just gonna take that. Right, I have another Luffy. Let's go ahead and see how this continues to play out. So he goes shambles, picks the Bonnie up, and just plays a raw Zoro. I know he had a restand law, but maybe he opted not to use it. Maybe for a later turn, he wants to use it on the Zoro next turn or something. But at this point, you know, I'm in a good spot. I have 10 Dawn up, but he only has 1 rested target, so maybe that's not my play. Let's go ahead and see. Maybe I pressure. Eggman hopped in for a sec. He wanted to make sure we could be on. He wanted to know if we could be on stream, and so I swing 6K at the law, and he just gives it to me. He just gives it to me. That means, well, I know he has 1 restand law in hand, and the Bonnie that he picked back up. So I know 2 cards that are in his hand. And the Nami got him a Zoro. So I think we have all 3 cards. And so I'm probably at this point, as you can see, I get my mouse there and get them out, so just so for my recording to be better. But I think at this point, I know the 3 cards that are in his hand. And so, you know, he probably wants me to swing at his life here, do something. But let's see what my play is. Okay, so I swing 7 at his life he takes. I play Queen just to cycle my hand. I'm at 10 Dawn regardless. And I trash it to Sora, which is a brick. And then I go Queen into Nami and search again. Right, so now I just fill up my board. I'm going to swing lethal next turn, and I'm able to pick up a 2K off the Nami. That's why I run 9 instead of 8. I know a lot of Doffy lists like to run 8 2Ks, but I run 9 because, you know, in situations like this where you're Nami searching and you know, hit another 2K, it just feels amazing. And so at this point, he can swing once. I'm resting something on his board. The reason why I swung with that Luffy there is probably because I have a spider web in hand, and I'm just going to restand the Luffy anyway. And so now my opponent is really low on cards, and he has to traverse this. So he swings at the Luffy. I just take it. He swings 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he swung 11. 1 Punk Gibson wasn't going to be able, or 1 4K counter event was not going to be able to save it, and so I just let it go. No reason to give him 2 cards when my board's looking like this, and he would need to really block her up to save himself. And so, okay, so he picks up a law, shambles the Otama into law, picks up the Bonnie, goes into Zoro, and passes. Not a bad turn, but definitely he's still in a really bad spot. I'm still hovering 10 Dawn. And so if I swing, okay, so I'm swinging and searching here. I don't have the 10 Dawn play Doflamingo. I grab another 2K off the Nami. So now I have 4K worth of counter in my hand, which feels amazing. I'm setting 2 Dawn aside there. That probably lets my opponent know that I'm going to Luffy again. And just with all these searches, it's just, you know, I'm bound to have my Luffy and Utas. You know, sometimes this deck can be a little bricky, but, you know, you take the bad with the good. It's not as bricky as Law can be, and it for sure, you know, has the power and tools to search out what you need. So I'm going full aggro here. I'm going full aggro, and the reason being is because I know I have an event in hand, and I know I'm going to Luffy this turn, and so I'm just playing super aggro. Boom, Luffy into Uta, a restand to Dawn, and this game is all but over. As long as I just protect my board and then go swing for lethal next turn, this game's over. So he goes 7 at my life potentially. I'm gonna block out Dawn -1. I'm gonna rest, you know, the blocker target ASAP. I'm swinging at that ASAP, or I'm Dawn -1 using Uta effect ASAP on that blocker. Right, I do not want that blocker up, and so I still have 4 units on board. I still have my whole hand. I have 2 Dawn up. You know, I'm in a great spot. I have 4 cards in hand, which is not bad. Not a bad spot to be in. He swings 5,000 at probably one of my units. I'm gonna block out. I need my units. And so let's see what he does. He's thinking. Yeah, see, look, we're at 30-minute timer mark. So this video is definitely longer. I've only been recording for 15 minutes. So, you know, definitely not as long as it could have been. He swings at my Nami. I'm doing the math in my head with the amount of cards in his hand. I only need 3 units. I block, give him a 2K, me knowing that's his last swing. He picks up the Brook, and he's going to play a restand law to get his blocker up. But at this point, I think it's over. I have 4 huge swings, 10 Don to use. There's no reason for me to. I mean, I guess with the amount of cards in his hand, I could just 10 cost Doffy and secure the victory here. I forgot what I actually do. I'm not sure if I go for lethal here or if I swing for or if I swing for game. Okay. So I swing 5 and he gives me a 1K. So now he's down to 2 cards in hand. He still has a blocker, so I would need 2 hits. I would need 2 guaranteed hits, and he has a blocker. So all 3 of these swings would definitely have to be for lethal. Okay, and so if I'm swinging 6K with my queen raw, that just lets me know that, okay, I'm in a 10 cost here. Yeah. So he gives me 2 cards. I 10 cost. And then I just pass. I could have been a little more aggressive and swung with the Luffy. But at the end of the day, I'm resting his law blocker with my Uta. And this is just, it's law, right? So you never know. He could like do some crazy shambles play, clear my board. I'm not sure. Maybe block her up even more. So I played the safe play. I did end up having the 10 drop. And so he's swinging 7. He is swinging 7. I know what I have to do here. Not much to think about. I'm just going to rest the Uta. Yep, Don -1. Rest the law blocker. That way I have, a way for lethal. Oh, and then I block out and Bagua to save the Uta. Well, it makes sense. He only has 1 swing left, which is the Nami. And so saving the Uta there does feel pretty good. And then he had to shambles, play nothing, and then raw play the law, which feels horrible. That's a 7 Don play. And then he has 1 Don on the law. And so he's figuring out what he wants to do here. He has 2 Don left. That just feels really bad. So he's going to pick up the Nami, play a beige blocker, and pass. And so at this point, now that I have a 10K swing, this is game, right? So I'm going to swing 7. He's going to have to give me the 2 of the 3 cards in his hand. But he just blocks a 7K. When you're blocking just a 7K like that, you don't have anything in hand. It's game over. So now I swing 9. And he takes. I swing another 7. And he's going to give me a 2 and a 1. And now I'm doing quick math. I'm like, okay, he can only block a 9. Because I knew what the 2 cards in his hand were, right? And so I'm like, okay, he can't block a 9. He has to take. And then I just go 11. And that's game. Boom. Definitely a little longer than I expected. Because at the end of the day, it is law. Like, I would think I would have the game fully, in my favor. This game's over. And then he's doing searches and he's surviving and it's law, so it's still scary at all times. And so you saw I was playing really safe at this point. This is round 5 and I'm 4-0, and so I really wanted to win this to give myself a better chance at that regional invite, which was my whole goal of this. I did not go into this expecting to win, wanting to win. I just told myself, okay, I'm going to just play my game. My goal is 7-2. Let's do this. But I ended up winning, and I don't take it for granted. Everything that's happened since then has been amazing. You guys have been amazing. Regardless, this has been round 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to end this video right here. You guys make sure to like this video, comment down below what you guys have thought of my run so far, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, the giveaway video just dropped. Go to our channel, go to our videos. It says 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Make sure to join that. We will be picking the winners on Saturday, November 4th at 12 p.m. PST. And if you win, just make sure to contact me on Discord, on Twitter, wherever, so I can get everybody's details. We will have the winners posted after that live stream on Saturday. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.